Okay, in order to date this, it's December 14th, 2008, and we just recently got word that George W. Bush, the lame duck president who does not realize he's a lame duck president, made a surprise visit. Ooh, gee, what a surprise! To Iraq, where an Iraqi journalist threw his shoes at the soon-to-be ex-president. Why? Well, we here in the West didn't really understand why at first, because here in the West, when we throw shoes at things, it's not an act of whatever that was. It's a mystery, quite frankly. I have seen in my own neighborhood, and this happens all over the country, and it also happens in Canada and the United Kingdom and other parts of the world. Shoes hanging off of power lines or hanging off of dead trees or other high things. People tie their shoelaces together and throw like bolas. They throw shoes at high up places and leave them up there. And I guess if they miss the first time, they throw it again until they get it right, until it lands on the power lines and stays there. And then people wonder, why in God's name would anyone do this? It's just a mystery. You look up and you're like, why are there shoes up there? I don't know myself personally, but it's perhaps indicative of advertising of a crack house in the neighborhood. Just to let people know where it is without letting the cops know. I would think that if that was the case, though, cops would figure it out after a while. It could be someone has passed away recently, and the people who were left behind for some reason, in order to feel better in their mourning process, they took the man's, he's dead, took his shoes and said he's not going to use them anymore, threw them into the power lines so that they can be closer to God and essentially closer to the dead man's spirit. So if he ever wants to walk around, there's his shoes. Or perhaps it's a bullying tactic. Now I like this opinion. This is more likely, in my opinion, that if a bully gets his hands on the wimp's shoes, he takes the guy's shoes, and if he's smart enough to know how, he ties the shoelaces together. Bullies aren't usually that smart, and throws them at the power lines in order to make sure the wimp can't get home without footwear. Apparently just punching the guy's lights out, not enough. You gotta mortify him. You gotta take off his shoes and throw them. I don't know. I don't understand why people do it. It's a mystery. Here in the West, when we throw shoes, it's a mystery. Now, in the Middle East, it's different. As I understand it, and I've done a little bit of reading on this, I've never actually been to the Middle East myself, so I could be completely wrong. Please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. But as I understand it, you're a guy in the Middle East, and you're walking out of your house, okay? And you see on your property, on your front lawn, a dog. And it's a stray dog. You don't like this dog. This dog's been around in the neighborhood before, and you don't like it. So it's in your yard, in your neighborhood, in your yard. So what do? You reach down and you pull, you take off, you may even have to unlace it first. You take off your shoe. It's a dark shoe in a dark room. You take off this shoe and you throw it at the dog, scaring the dog away. So essentially in the Middle East, when you throw your shoe, you're saying that whatever it is that you're throwing the shoe at is beneath you, because it's beneath your feet. It's less important than you are. So when the Iraqi journalist was throwing his shoes at the President of the United States, he was saying that you, Mr. President of the United States, are not worthy of me stepping on you. I'm not even going to step on you. I'm not even going to walk over there and kick you. I am going to reach down, pull up a shoe, and I'm going to throw it at you. Because there's nothing else within arm's reach. This is indicative of this being a serious problem in our communication, because here in the West, throwing shoes is not essentially an act of aggression. In fact, throwing shoes is an act of stupidity, because if they're your shoes, why would you throw them? Why would you take them off? I understand in the Far East, in like China or Japan, it's customary to take off your shoes when you walk into someone else's house. Here in the West, I sometimes keep my shoes on in my own house. Because I know where the carpets have been, and I know I haven't cleaned them recently. And I don't know about other people and their carpets and their houses, so I generally just keep my shoes on wherever it is that I happen to be. To me, looking at a person who takes off his shoes and throws them at someone else is someone who is too ignorant to realize that after you do that, you are without shoes. And you have to walk home without your shoes. Now, so even if the Secret Service agents and the Iraqi police didn't attack this Iraqi journalist the nanosecond after he threw the shoes at the President of the United States, even if none of that happened, dude, you're still walking home without your shoes. Why the hell would you even think, why would you even go there and do that to yourself? See, that right there, I think, is the major communication breakdown. The mindset of people in the Middle East is dramatically different from the mindset here in the West, because here in the West, we wouldn't do something stupid like that. We just wouldn't. We'd find something else to throw. You know, just a thing of jelly, you know, would make a good statement. You know, just go to his, you just throw a cup at him, you know. Throw something that you don't really care about. Something that you were going to throw away anyway. Don't throw your own garments at the guy. He's not worth... My shoe is worth more to me than the President of the United States, quite frankly. Because these shoes have got me through an awful lot. They really have. I like my shoes. I'm not going to throw them at George Bush. Are you crazy?